Archangel Michael says, "A miracle payment has been released in heaven with your name on it, but if you skip this, it will vanish forever, my beloved child. Listen carefully if you trust in God. Type Amen." Heaven doesn't operate on chance. It moves with purpose, with precision. And right now, something divine has been released in the spirit realm, something with your name etched into it, not typed, not whispered, but carved in light. Archangel Michael steps forward, not with warning but with a promise. A miracle payment. A release of provision. A shift in your financial atmosphere that is not tied to labor, but to alignment. You've prayed prayers no one heard. You've cried in secret, wondering if God was even listening. You've budgeted tightly, sacrificed quietly, and still faced closed doors. And heaven has seen every moment. Not one need was overlooked. Not one seed you planted went unnoticed. And now, heaven says, it's time. But listen closely, this is not just about money. This is about flow. About restoring what was blocked, reclaiming what was stolen, and resetting the timeline that was delayed by doubt, by fear, by silence. The miracle is not just a number in your bank account, it's a realignment of your faith. A shift in your identity. A moment where God says, "You've waited long enough. Now watch me supply more than what you even dared to ask." Archangel Michael says, "The funds have been released. The provision has been approved." But heaven operates on faith, not fear. You must receive what is yours, not with panic, but with boldness. This is not the time to shrink. This is the moment to believe like you've never believed before. God is not teasing you. He's testing whether your heart can carry what your prayers requested. And heaven has already said yes. The only question left is, will you receive it? This miracle payment is more than currency. It is confirmation. Confirmation that your name was not forgotten. That your effort was not wasted. That your story is not ending in lack, but shifting into overflow. When heaven moves financially, it is never just about provision, it is about positioning. God doesn't just give to fill your hands. He gives to elevate your role. To fund your freedom. To remind you, you were never created to struggle. You were chosen to steward. Archangel Michael speaks clearly, this is not a paycheck. It is a prophetic release. A declaration from the courts of heaven that you are stepping into the reality of your spiritual inheritance. You've tithed, you've trusted, and now, the flow begins. You see, this isn't random. For weeks, months, even years, you've felt blocked. You've tried, failed, pushed, saved, borrowed. And all along, the reason it didn't come earlier was not because heaven said no, it's because heaven said, not yet. You were being trained for this level. You were being prepared so that when the miracle came, it would not destroy your balance but reveal your destiny. And now that you've reached alignment, the release has begun. But listen again, this miracle is activated by belief, not begging. It's drawn by obedience, not desperation. It is for the bold. The ones who will say, God, I receive what has always been mine. I will no longer apologize for needing help. I will no longer feel guilt over provision. I will no longer downplay the blessing. Because this is yours. Heaven has signed your name. And no man, no system, no lie, no fear can cancel what God has already dispatched. Your name is on it. Now, your spirit must match it. This moment didn't arrive by luck. It wasn't a coincidence. You're not reading these words because of curiosity. You're reading them because you've been called. You've been feeling the weight of generational struggle. You've seen patterns repeat, scarcity, brokenness, financial blockages, and deep down, you've whispered, this has to stop with me. And heaven heard you. You are not just part of the family. You are the breaker of the chain. You are the one who carries the spiritual strength to turn lack into legacy. The reason the miracle payment has your name on it isn't because God favors you over others, it's because He trusts you more than you realize. Trusts you to build where others destroyed. Trusts you to believe even when you've been bruised. Archangel Michael says, the breakthrough is not just for your account. It's for your assignment. You've been chosen to reverse the curse that was passed down silently, through fear, through pride, through financial missteps. But now, your faith is unlocking what fear tried to bury. This isn't just about you having more. It's about ending what has haunted your bloodline. You've seen family members rise and fall. You've watched good people crumble under the weight of financial shame. You've felt the pressure of being the strong one, the giver, the rescuer. But now you receive not just for survival, but for strategy. God says, you will not just pay bills, you will fund visions. You will not just escape debt, you will rewrite destiny. What others called a struggle, you will call a seed. This is why the miracle had to be delayed, so you could become the one who handles it with holy confidence, not with fear or guilt. You've been trained in the shadows, refined in silence, built in battle. Now, the chain is snapping, and it's because of you. Before you asked, God already began preparing the answer. Before you knew how to pray, heaven had already assigned angels to your future. Before you saw the need, God saw the legacy. This miracle payment wasn't decided today. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't random. It was written. Your name was whispered in heaven long before you ever felt the pressure here on earth. God saw the struggle coming and set a provision in motion. He saw the sleepless nights, the moments where you smiled in public and cried another drop to the miracle account with your name on it. Archangel Michael says, "You thought no one saw the cost you paid, but all of heaven recorded it. Not just your sacrifices, but your spirit. Not just the giving, but the grieving that came with it." Every unspoken ache is part of the reason this financial breakthrough has been released to you now. You need to know this: you're not being rescued. You're being rewarded. This is not charity. This is justice. This is not mercy for failure. This is honor for endurance. The breakthrough you are about to walk into is not a coincidence. It is a response. Not a last-minute fix, but a sacred fulfillment. God says, "You held on when quitting would have been easier. You gave when keeping would have felt safer. You believed in me even when it cost you comfort. And now, I believe in you to carry this blessing with wisdom." The money is not the miracle. You are. This financial blessing is only the evidence of a spiritual shift that already occurred in you. You became who you were praying to become. And now heaven responds with manifestation, not motivation. With release, not reminders. You're not waiting anymore. You're walking in it. There were moments when you wondered if God was silent. When prayers felt like echoes and doors stayed shut, even after you knocked with your whole heart. When people around you seemed to rise while you remained stuck, waiting, hoping, trusting in a whisper that sometimes felt too faint to follow. But today, God says, you were never being ignored, you were being prepared. The wait wasn't punishment. It was preparation for promise. The silence wasn't abandonment, it was sacred shaping. You were being trained in stillness, refined in scarcity, shaped in the shadows where no applause could reach you, so that when the light finally came, you would know who you are without needing confirmation from the crowd. Archangel Michael steps in, strong and sure, and declares, "The time has come." Not to start believing, but to start receiving. The portal has opened. The approval is stamped. The miracle is moving in your direction, faster than you think, because you are finally in alignment, not just financially, but spiritually. You're not just ready for money. You're ready for meaning. You're not just asking for breakthrough. You've become the kind of soul who hosts it. You've outgrown the small thinking, the fear-based praying, the just enough mindset. And now heaven responds not to your tears, but to your transformation. You are no longer who you were when you first cried out. You've evolved. And that's why this miracle has accelerated. God says, "The door is opening not because I changed my mind, but because you changed your spirit." You are finally in the posture to handle what I've always planned for you. So walk forward, boldly, humbly, and completely aware you were never forgotten. You were always becoming. And now it begins. Time in heaven does not move the way we measure it here on Down here, we count in minutes, deadlines, pressure, and panic. But in the realm of the divine, time bends to obedience. Miracles are not bound by hours, they are released by alignment. And right now, heaven's clock is striking your name. Not in warning, but in welcome. Not to alarm you, but to awaken you. Archangel Michael says, the release has already happened. The miracle is not coming, it has come. But you must be in motion to receive it. The longer you delay your belief, the further it drifts. The faster you respond in faith, the closer it lands. This is not pressure. It's promise. God is not threatening you with loss. He is inviting you into inheritance. But this moment is specific, sacred, time-sensitive. Because while heaven is patient, it also operates with divine windows, doors that open for a moment, then close once the soul chooses fear instead of faith. You've been brought to this very moment not just to read these words, but to respond. To make a declaration, God, I receive what is already mine. That one confession, spoken with conviction, will realign your timeline. You may not see the bank notification instantly, but you will feel the shift. Conversations will change. Blockages will begin to crumble. Unexpected favor will find you. And slowly or suddenly, what was once delayed will show up, right on divine schedule. Because this isn't just a financial miracle. It's a reminder that heaven is listening. God says, I've seen you wait. I've watched you suffer in silence. I've counted your tears in the night. And now, I release the thing that silence tried to steal. Because I honor not just those who pray, but those who keep believing when the wait grows long. So now, child of God, move. Speak faith. Stand tall. Receive what your name has always been tied to. The clock in heaven has struck. Now let the miracle arrive. Loss has followed you like a shadow. Not just financial, emotional, spiritual, relational. There have been seasons where you've smiled on the outside but carried a storm inside. Moments where you gave more than you had, hoping it would come back. Times when you planted seeds and watched others reap, while your hands stayed empty. But now, God says, nothing was wasted. Not a single tear, not a single trial. I was watching, and I was multiplying in silence what you thought you had lost in suffering. Heaven's economy doesn't work the way the world does. Down here, we measure value by what we can hold. Up there, faith is the currency, and you, my child, are rich beyond words. Archangel Michael declares, the restoration coming to you isn't a refund. It's a resurrection. You will not get back what you lost. You will receive what was always meant for you, upgraded, multiplied, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is your divine return. This is not karma. This is covenant. God is not balancing scales. He is fulfilling promises. Because when you chose to forgive instead of retaliate, you positioned yourself for divine overflow. When you kept trusting even when you were betrayed, you unlocked heavenly intervention. When you whispered, "God, I still believe," even through clenched fists, heaven stood still. And now the release begins, not because you begged for it, but because you became ready for it. The loss was not the end. It was the proof of your readiness. God says, everything that was taken, everything that was broken, every door that shut in your face, it was all leading you here. And now, I restore not just what was stolen, but what was stored, set aside in heaven, with your name on it, for this exact hour. So let your heart breathe again. You are not behind. You are on time. The miracle is not late. It is perfectly timed for your rise. You didn't ask to be the strong one. You didn't volunteer to carry the weight. And yet, again and again, you've been the one who holds the pieces together when everything else falls apart. But now, God speaks clearly. You were chosen, not punished. There is a reason why you feel deeper, why you see what others miss, why you sense truth even in silence. It's not sensitivity. It's spiritual authority. Your soul was marked for something greater before you were even born. Not to suffer endlessly, but to shift the cycle that no one before you dared to confront. Archangel Michael declares, you are the interruption to the patterns that stole from your bloodline. The first to rise not in rebellion, but in revelation. The one who breaks generational fear with generational faith. This miracle coming your way, it's not just about money. It's about mission. It's not just about ease. It's about elevation. You were never meant to fit in with the noise. That's why you've always felt like the outsider, the overthinker, the one who's too much. But heaven didn't design you to blend. Heaven designed you to build. And now, with the miracle payment released, God says, I place the tools in your hands to rewrite legacy. Not just for yourself, but for those who come after you. You are the first to see clearly. The first to say no to what everyone else accepted. The first to say yes to what no one else could believe. That's why the enemy came so hard for you. Because he feared what you become once you heal. Because once you stood in your truth, you would be unstoppable. But here you are, still standing, still chosen, still believing. And now, heaven delivers what only you were strong enough to carry. The breakthrough is not coming to impress you. It's coming to empower you. Not to make you feel better, but to make you build better. So rise now, with clarity, with humility, with boldness. You are not waiting for change. you're waiting for is no longer in my hands, it's in your heart. And what he means is this: you must decide. Decide to release the fear that kept you small. Decide to walk as if the door is already open. Decide to speak as if the answer is already yes. Because heaven has already decided. Heaven has said yes. Heaven has poured favor into motion. Heaven has released something with your name on it that will rewrite your days and redefine your direction. Archangel Michael stands beside you, not with a sword of warning, but a banner of celebration. He says, you've passed the unseen test. The wilderness didn't break you. The silence didn't blind you. The weight didn't turn your heart cold. And now, as heaven watches, it is your move. This is not a test of worth. You've already proven that. This is a test of readiness. Will you believe, even though it doesn't look like it? Will you walk, even before you see the road? Will you trust, even when the miracle feels too big? Because the miracle is not delayed, it's already delivered. And now it waits, not at the gates of heaven, but at the gates of your faith. God says, say yes now, and I will flood your life with the evidence of my presence. The kind of blessing that leaves no doubt. The kind of joy that overflows. The kind of breakthrough that changes how you pray, how you live, and how you love. You're not being invited into hope. You're being pulled into harvest. So choose it. Speak it. Stand in it. Because heaven has already said yes. Some doors don't open by force. They open by faith. They don't creak open with begging or bargaining, but with boldness. The kind that rises after disappointment. The kind that says, even if it didn't happen before, I still believe. And now, in this moment, heaven says, this is the door. This isn't just a chance. This isn't just another uplifting message. This is activation. The atmosphere around your life is changing. What once felt stuck is now shifting. What once echoed with delay is now humming with divine movement. Archangel Michael speaks again, not with warning, but with celebration. The miracle is not coming to find you. It's waiting for you to find it. The path is not hidden, it's open. But you must walk through without dragging fear, shame, or doubt behind you. God isn't asking you to be perfect. He's asking you to step. Not because you know what's next, but because you trust who's already there. This door leads to the phone call you weren't expecting but have prayed for. The opportunity that feels too big for someone like you, but is exactly sized for your destiny. The restoration of relationships that felt shattered beyond repair. The financial favor that shows up like grace, not because of your hustle, but because of heaven's heart. God says, you've cried long enough. You've questioned long enough. Now step. Step through the door of faith. Step through the opening I've carved just for you. The miracle isn't behind you. It's not beside you. It's ahead of you. And I go before you. This isn't just about belief anymore. It's about movement. What you do next will determine how fast this miracle reaches you. Heaven is not hesitant. Heaven is hovering, watching, waiting, cheering you on. Because you are not just someone hoping for change. You are someone chosen to create it. Your walk is worship now. Every step forward